It's still Friday all day.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Now, yesterday was Heritage Day, and you know we couldn't get into the weekend without our very own taste of South Africa. So we'll be making a traditional Tswana dish called Tshotlho, ting, which basically means pulled beef and fermented mabele, or sorghum as most people know.
I like the ring of it. Ting.
Which means it's got that seal of approval,
yes,
the tick for approval. This is a dish, Anele, that I've enjoyed growing up in every single huge occasion we have, whether it is a wedding, whether it is a funeral, whether mokete wa badimo, which is you know, a celebration for the ancestors. There's always this dish. There's always Tshotlho le ting.
But how do you start? Okay. What must I do? First do what you have to do, and then you tell me, because you have to instruct me.
I need to instruct you with that first, because that has to sit and ferment. So how it starts is you're going to pour some water into mabele and actually put some of the maize meal in there. So what we're doing now is we're prepping it for the fermentation process.
I've got some, is it sorghum is the other word, sorghum or what?
Yeah, sorghum.
And where can I buy this?
Anywhere. And it is by far one of the most unappreciated grains.
Wow.
It actually is gluten-free, first of all. And it is also high in protein. It is high in lots of nutrients. South Africa Online, check it out. It is a great ingredient for your kitchen. Just as great as Excella, because it's good for your pocket. It's good on your pocket.
It's got like a porridge consistency. Can I eat it for breakfast or something?
Girl, you can eat it for breakfast. Like you see now, we're pairing it with some meat. You eat it for breakfast. You eat it as a main meal. It's completely up to you. While you're doing that, I'm just going to get started with the onions here. But basically, that's it. You put some water in it, cover it, put it in a nice warm place for between 3 to 5 days, and then it ferments. Yabela.
3 to 5 days?
Yes, girl. We want that sour taste, and then,
now it's
that's the thing. So now it's just mabele. It's just plain grain.
So you covered this, and I'll leave it. So what are you doing?
So I'm getting started with our Tshotlho, which basically is the pulled beef. So we cook it so long that it actually starts to pull apart.
Oh.
You know?
It's like, you know, it comes from such a heritage. And now people are saying it's fancy pull-apart beef.
Girl,
but at the end of the game...
We've been doing this.
For ages.
For ages. So basically, because of the amount of work that goes into migete and all the celebrations, these are the kind of dishes where they make it, they leave it on the pot, and they go do everything else.
Big pots.
Yes. So what we would do is we start with the onion, and then we go in with our beef.
And what beef cuts is that? Just like any beef cut?
So I've gotten you can get the cheapest cut of beef, because the whole idea is you're going to let it cook long and slow in the pot. So normally this would happen with, if they've bought, because there'll be celebrations, there's always either slaughtering of a cow or a sheep. So there'll always be that large piece of meat, and they cut it up into beautiful pieces, put it in the pot, go in with the rest of the ingredients. I started off with our Excella. Let me not forget that part.
Yeah.
We started off with this Excella, and one thing I love about it is that because it doesn't give off any smell and it's non-greasy, it's a quality product, and you basically know you have it on hand. You don't have to worry about buying oil often because of the quality of this product. So you fry that up, go in with the spices, go in with all the sauces.
What spices did you put in there? Because I just saw this, it looks like curry to me, so please help me.
Spice. It's just barbecue spice.
Okay.
So the one thing is that with this particular dish, because they want the pure taste of the meat, they don't we don't change it up at all. We normally just like to keep it simple, the simple spices, and let this cook. I'm going to put it on a high heat, and then we just go in with a bit of water because you don't want it to burn. Let it fry up.
And you don't even have to go in with stock. You know, sometimes people got all these fancy methods. But let me tell you, when it goes down to the most simplest way, that is when things are just delicious.
You are correct. So while this cooks, I'm going to talk you through making that ting. Right. So now that's been fermented.
For how long has this been fermented?
That's been fermented for 3 days.
Yes. This is a bit sour. The water is boiling. What must I do now?
Boiling. So you basically go in with the first spoon, stir it in.
Okay.
Make sure it's nicely incorporated.
Okay.
And then just put in about 4 spoons of that. So the reason we soak it also is to actually break down the enzymes of the actual sorghum.
Okay.
And then basically just let it cook. Once it starts to boil, turn down the heat and let it simmer. And you just keep stirring it. This we like to cook for at least 30 minutes, 30 to 40 minutes, because you want, it's basically almost like pap. It's a grain as well. So you want to cook it down, but you also don't want to disturb it. So we're going to, once it starts boiling, put it on low heat. And then it's going to cook and become, if you want it to be more runny and you want soft porridge, then you put more liquid. If you want it to be stiff pap like this, that's basically what you get.
Just want to show the viewers here. This has been cooked now for half an hour or longer, and this is quite a stiff porridge. This reminds me of mabele porridge as well. In a way, I grew up with mabele, and this reminds me of it, but can I taste it?
Definitely.
Because I've never tasted this before.
Please go ahead.
I'm thinking I'm going to start eating this.
Please. You have it for breakfast, you have it for lunch, you have it soft, you have it... Girl, it's completely up to you.
It's got a very distinctive taste. I prefer this taste over normal pap.
True.
It's very earthy.
Yeah, and this is something that I respect my elders for. Please stir the pot there. You don't want it to...
Yes, I'm going to stir the pot.
I respect my elders because if there's anything, they'll be like, I don't want pap, I don't want rice, give me my ting. So that's one thing that I appreciate and I'll always respect my elders for. But anyway, girls, manate hau fairly, and that basically means the joy never ends. Here in the Afternoon Express kitchen, and you can also bring joy to the ones you love by getting this recipe, so go to afternoonexpress.co.za. But be sure to join us again next week for another excellent Excella recipe. And just in case you missed it, here's a quick recap of today's recipe.